My plan is to take a little time and, I don't know, take a week or two and eventually sit down and talk with Joe and Mike. We've always had a great partnership and collaboration, and just see where they are. And I'll tell them where I am, and we'll talk about what's next for the Warriors, what the plan is this offseason, and we will come to a collaborative decision on what's next. I don't know what's going to happen. I still love coaching, but I get it. These jobs all have an expiration date. There's a run that happens, and when the run ends, sometimes it's time for new blood and new ideas and all that. And if that's the case, then I will be just nothing but grateful for the most amazing opportunity any person could have to coach this franchise in front of our fans in the Bay, and to coach Steph Curry, to coach Dray, the whole group. So it may still go on. It may not. I don't know at this point, but we all need to step away a little bit and then reconvene.
Do you have a problem if I feel like Coach is telling you within those walls over at Warriors Way, he feels like, or he's hearing or may have heard, my boss might not be too happy with the way I've gone about things. The way I just hear the great Coach Kerr speak, Steiny, he's hearing the possibilities, or he's feeling it, or it's been said to him maybe a subliminal type of way or ways, to where he's ready and can still go, but he's telling you that others might not be so keen on him coming back. I hear it, man.
Well, what I'm hearing is it's not his decision. It's not all his decision.
And would that bother you if you were Kerr and as accomplished as he is?
No, it would not.
I think it would bother me.
Oh, if I were Kerr, it might, but
that's what I meant.
No, it doesn't bother me as a observer.
Fan. Yeah.
No, this could be the natural time where Steve leaves. And if he leaves, then I think it will have been the natural time. But I've said it. I don't think he's the coach to usher the Warriors out of this situation.
But what if what we know, partners are still in it? Mired with injuries like Jimmy Butler's coming back. Hope.
Okay. Well, then bring him back.
I guess what I'm saying is,
you really think there's a lot of hope going into this offseason? I don't.
Who called and said hope is not a strategy? Remember that one?
You just said.
No, I'm telling you, for whatever reasons, there's a new Golden State Warrior head coach. I'm telling you, the state of with the players and the financial situation, they're not hitting the ground running, no matter who that guy is.
Well, they could have a couple young players on the team. There'll be an 11th pick in the draft who should be in the rotation, period, end of story. If they draft the right guy, they should be able to get a guy in his prime who's not a star, but should be a pretty good role player. Let me tell you, the one I wouldn't bring Steve Kerr back if the reason I'm bringing him back is because, well, who else is going to coach? That to me is not a good reason. And there is something about, there's something about Steve Kerr and where the Warriors are right now, where I do feel like Steve Kerr sees writing on the wall that maybe Joe Lacob doesn't see or doesn't want to see. And if Joe Lacob doesn't see it and Kerr thinks he sees it, then it's time. Yeah.
No, that's interesting. Let me throw this at you and everybody else. When you look at this team and the wins that they, put together, do you feel like there was chicken on the bone for this Warrior team? Forget the excuses. Do you think that Joe Lacob could look at this team like, we should have won more? Yeah, we had this, we had that, we should have won more. I wonder if Lacob is looking at his team like, we'll start, 37 wins time? We could easily had 44.
How?
I'm just, if Joe Lacob is thinking that, or is there any...
The Warriors are not a 44-win team. If Steph misses half the year, Butler misses half the year, Draymond is good some of the time and not good some of the other time. Like, that's not a 44-win team. I don't think.
And that bodes well for Steve in regard to how, his boss or anybody else can look at this Warrior team like they underachieved.
Let's go to Shane. Shane's in San Francisco. Hey, Shane, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, all right. So, I'm a pretty big critic of the Warriors these days. Just naturally, I'm very in relation to Steiny on this. But that Clippers game, it was encouraging. It was exciting. It was vintage Steph. It was vintage Draymond. It was vintage Kerr. Even the whole thing came together in a beautiful moment. It was great. And then I can't help but feel sad watching that game on Friday night. And it was just like, I tuned in and I was like, oh, darn it. Like, of course, they're just going to lose by 15. Big deal, whatever. But all that said, Kerr, I'm a Kerr critic as well. Shout out Jonathan Kuminga. But it's just time, man. Like, now is the time, in the Clipper game, they're like, oh, look at Porzingis. He's a real basketball player. And then, like, where's he at? Where's he at when it comes to making the playoffs or whatever? Like, he's nowhere to be found. And then, like, yeah, Jimmy Butler, great, amazing. Just, like, even if he was around, like, in the playoffs last year before he was anything, like, it's not that impactful, Like, there's nothing happening with this team. It's time to face reality. I don't know what they do with Steph. I feel bad for him as well. But, like, Kerr, I got love for him. But also, like, I mean, if not now, then what's next? And Guru, dude, like, there's no chicken left on the bone. They got all the cartilage. Yeah. They got everything, dude. Like,
I got you.
What do you want,
They've started to eat some bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shay. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't here, so I guess I can say it, and not too many times I can say it today. You could call me a fool, and I'll wear it, but what if Wednesday gave me a glimpse into I understand the strategy, and it's not even a strategy. It's pretty much all you can do at this time is wait for Jimmy to come back, hope that Steph has a great offseason with this runner's knee. How will you know? You don't. And Draymond comes back and is Draymond, and we just basically run it back with Horford and see if you can work something out with Porzingis and Steph Curry and Peyton and Pods will be here. And, like, that seems like where this thing is headed, plus the lottery, and that we'll just say 11 pick for the sake of this discussion. Like, if you're telling me they're healthy, I'm watching. But I ain't yelling they're about to be a threat for Steph's fifth chip.
I mean, the issue is, one of the issues is that they are capable of a game like Wednesday. And then everybody comes out and says, look, but they're not capable of a series like a Wednesday.
So sustaining
anymore.
it, you mean?
They can.
Curry only got up 16 shots in 36 minutes.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, now broadcasting from the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, righteously brewed in the city.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I got to take one here. Do you know who the leading scorer for the Warriors were Friday in Phoenix?
Probably Pods.
And do you know he took the most field goal attempts, 17? And if you know the game is not easy to hoist up a field goal attempt in the NBA game, but again, I'm just comparing the hate and the venom towards his way on what he actually does. He's, Steiny, one of few that can create his own shot. And he did it 17 times and led the team in scoring. Yeah, you lost, but don't tell me you lost because of him.
No, they lost because of the old guys. That's the problem. When their old guys play pretty well, they're a good team. But they kind of got swallowed up a little bit on
Phoenix
on
was
Friday.
faster. They're faster than the Clippers, and that speed was on display from the outset.
Let's go to the King in Pasadena.
Uh-oh.
What's up, King? How you doing, man?
What's up, Steiny? What's up, Goose?
You got it.
Hey, how'd you guys enjoy that dead cat bounce on Wednesday? But listen, I wanted to talk about the Ramona Shelburne article.
All right.
And where she talked about, Kerr having fire in the belly. They wanted to have more attention to detail. When you take a look at the two games against the Clippers and the Suns, both games, man, first quarter, we got blown out 64-37, right? 6
Yep.
assists, 13 turnovers, leading to 20 points. We got out-rebounded 18-26. So basically, the two games are the same. The only difference is Al Horford went nuclear against the Clippers.
Man.
Right? Because we're down by 13 in the fourth quarter in both games. Al went nuclear, saved the day. But Steiny, you played competitive basketball. I got a question for you. When you look across the field and you see a team that's committing turnovers, not ready to play in the first quarter, fouling a lot, what does that tell you?
I think it's fatigue. I mean, I just think it's energy. I mean, you know, they started, like, let's look at who they started. They started Curry and Draymond, and then they started Porzingis, who apparently was hurt going into that game. And they're playing a younger team, and yes, they struggle against younger teams. And I do feel like, you know, they've not gotten off to great starts this year in general when they've, you know, been together even. So both games were the same. They got down 12-2, 13-2 early, which is never good.
Yeah, if you have one of the guys in your station pull up the stats for quarterly plus minus, you'll see that they struggled in the first quarter, even when Jimmy was healthy. So that tells me, are these guys ready? You know, did the coach get these guys ready to play in the first quarter? Because they become better as the game goes on.
Right.
So it's almost like you take a look at the plus minus, they're negative in the first half, but positive in the second half throughout the entire season.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I think one of the things that happens with veteran players is, you know, they need a little time to ease into a game and, you know, take the first 4 minutes, see how the game's going and adjust. But I don't know that they have that luxury anymore.
Yeah, they were down 18 after one, and not Jalen Green, Jordan Goodwin getting steals, multiple steals, and you know, it was apparent to the naked eye that one team was fresher, younger, and faster. But to the Steve Kerr thing, he doesn't need me to defend him, and I won't, partner. But, okay, when the Warriors go on a run or they come back in that Clipper game and pull it out, obviously you want a good start. That's everybody knows that in sports. But does the coach get any credit when they get their feet underneath them and go on a run and kind of offset the, you know, non-good start that's followed the Warriors pretty much all season? Or do you attribute that to age, which I do?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's age. I think a lot of it's the makeup of the team. I don't know how much Kerr's got to do with it. But again, you know, like he's been around for a while. He's seen the change.
Will he come back?
He knows the difference between a championship team and a 37-win team. And I don't think Steve Kerr would tell you that they had, you know, that they got hosed this year. He would probably tell you we deserved everything we got, and we got hit by injuries. We were a 37-win team, and that's who we were. And how do we become a 45-win team again next year, if they can? Let's go to our good friend Javier in Vacaville. What's up, Javi? How you doing, man?
How are you doing today, Mr. Johnson?
Hey.
Mr. Simons?
Yep.
Seeing the game, you know, even on there, I'm a Kings fan and a Warriors fan. My first game ever, 1998. I was 6 with my mom at, you know, Arco Arena. But my first game, you know, 2002, I'm there. The Nick Van Exel, Speedy Claxton, Antoine Jameson, you know, those days of, you know, and dealing with, you know, the Warriors in that old blue, that the off orange that doesn't match anything. You know, I was there when they were really bad, you know, and just seeing the greatness of the last 13 seasons, it felt like it all flashed in front of my face when Kerr had brought, you know, Curry and Draymond together at the conclusion of that game. And I'm not going to lie, it made me sad because I don't think not just the NBA, but the Bay Area fans, but the world of basketball and as a whole in this country appreciate what they've done. And yeah, it's not the best ending per se if this is the end, which I don't want, but the standard has been set by the Warriors, and whether people want to test it or not, we've never seen an era of basketball like this. And the consistency of what it's been after the 14-15 season and onward has been nothing but competitiveness, championship-style basketball. And to act as if Steve Kerr, whether they're not playing well in the first quarter or not, or whatever, Steve Kerr deserves better. And he's made bad decisions, etc., said things that people don't like, and I don't like. But I'll tell you right now, when Steph Curry deserves what he wants, and that is for Steve Kerr to finish with him, that's something that Steve Kerr is more than worthy of. Because nobody in Golden State thought that Steve Kerr would bring 4 championships and 6 finals appearances to the Warriors in 2014, 2015. And now we're talking about 12 seasons later, and he's brought 4 chips, 6 finals appearances, and multiple playoff appearances. I don't know what Dunleavy has, but Dunleavy, to me, I'm just being real, he's nobody compared to Steve Kerr. And all this power he's been given, decision maker, like, yo, you are a mediocre player. You've been mediocre at best as a GM, and you're not him. You're not that guy. You're not Bob Myers. Like, I don't know what him and Lacob got going on, but there's no way you could tell. I don't care how bad Steve Kerr's been. It isn't as if the Warriors were not in the play-in/playoffs. Mike Dunleavy has done nothing productive outside of giving Jimmy Butler a huge extension. And that could be questionable, too. That's like, oh, yeah, Mike Dunleavy knows what he's doing. I don't see that. But I know Steve Kerr's a champion, man. And what we saw in that game against the Clippers, that's the heart of a champion. And whether you want to discredit Steve Kerr or not, Steve Kerr deserves to go out on his own terms with Steph and Draymond Green.
Thanks, Javi. It's a good place to end it.
Yeah. Tell us how you feel.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about when you say Steve Kerr deserves to go out with Steph and Draymond. He might, but he might not want to. Like, I don't
get that. I get he wants to.
I don't think he's chomping at the bit to get back, and that's why I think over the course of a whole season that maybe Dunleavy and Lacob just. They don't think he's got his competitive fire like he used to.
Well, that's a big deal then.
And there seems to be, I'm not saying Steve Kerr's giving in, but they need. I almost think they need a guy, and maybe the time's not now. Maybe it is another year down the road, but they need a guy in here who won't just accept. Well, we're on the back of a dynasty, so this thing is going to take a while. I think it's going to take a while, but you can't have somebody coaching or the GM who doesn't have a sense of urgency that they can turn it around more quickly than that. And I'm not sure Steve has that.
You know what? That's interesting, and I'll say this for that. If this were Hollywood and it was a script, and I love me some movies, Steve Kerr would ride out with Draymond Green and Steph Curry. That's how I feel. And part of me hates that Klay Thompson didn't get that opportunity. But things happen, things change, and stuff comes at us quick. But we both have spouses. If my spouse kept reminding me where I'm lacking as I'm getting older, it would irritate me. And I'm starting to really think that fading dynasty comment to Joe Lacob, regardless if it's true or not, and obviously it's true, it probably didn't hit or sit well with the guy that's put this all together for the coach to say something's fading. I'm speculating, but I'm really starting to believe his future, Steve Kerr, is not up to him, and that's why he says he doesn't know what's going to happen. But when you make comments like that, even though it's your truth, maybe the guy that's putting this together, that's kind of an insult, like fading.
Hey, if you're a Warrior fan, all right, and you want Curry, Draymond, and Kerr to ride into the sunset together, that's doable. You can take care of that this offseason. Easy. You tell Draymond to rip up his player option, and you give him 2 more years. You extend Steph Curry 1 more year, and you give Steve Kerr a 2-year deal. Then they're all up at the end of 27, 28, and at that point they can ride off into the sunset together. Now, who wants to do that? Bueller? Bueller? I think there's a lot of people that would want to do that, and that's okay.